Hello and welcome to the Living Scary Podcast.
The podcast where we talk about real-to-real horror so you can live vicariously through us.
I'm plucking out my balls, Logan, and I like to watch and talk about horror movies.
And I'm sucking on those toesies, McCall, and I like to talk about true crime and murder.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Horrid.
But not
we're
this week.
Yes,
no,
this week
sir.
We're not going to be talking about that business, that true crime business. No, this week instead we have a spooky movie review.
Spooks and scares.
Movie. It came out this year and it had a hand involved.
It came out this year?
Talk about talk.
Kind of.
Well, okay, yeah. Technically, it came out on October 30th of 2022 as part of the Adelaide Film Festival. But then it was
it's
released to the wider
Australian.
public. It's Australian. It was released to the wider public on July 27th of 2023.
So that's cool.
It's been very positive reviews. Box office success for A24's theater. Second grossing highest grossing film for A24.
Wait.
And
second grossing film in ever?
Second highest grossing film.
Damn. That's pretty
from
good.
A24.
Oh,
of A24.
Yeah.
No, of all time. It beat Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't feel right, but I kind of just want you to have this.
Remember when people were like Avatar: The Last Airbender? Not Avatar: The Last Airbender. No, we love Avatar. The Avatar, the Blue People Avatar.
Yes.
That one beat all the highest grossing films, but they didn't account for inflation, and people were like, the Powerpuff Girls movie beat Avatar if we're counting
Calm
for inflation.
down. I love the Powerpuff Girls movie. That was a good fucking movie.
And I don't like Avatar.
I think the story is bad, but if you go see it in the theaters, it's kind of cool.
That's the only time it's cool.
Yeah. And I like that you don't feel bad to go get up to pee halfway through, because I really don't give a shit about what happens in the movie. So I just come back and I'm like, there's space whales now.
Is that what's happening? I guess. And with how long those fucking movies are, you are getting up to go to the bathroom.
I peed twice at the last one. Because I'm getting... God. Also, yeah, I also get the big drink and the big popcorn, because I'm like, this is going to be an all-day event, because
Is there any other option?
I have been told I have to come to this. So, sometimes when I go to movies, if I don't want to pee, I don't drink. I get a teeny pop, a kiddie pop, because I don't have to pee.
I'm getting the bucket of both the popcorn and the drink.
That is interesting. Okay. Do you like ices anymore? Did we just grow out of that? You don't like ices?
Nar. No, it's too much work for not enough payoff.
Yeah, it does lose its juiciness after a little bit.
Yeah, and then you end up just eating ice that has very little blue flavoring left.
But as a kid, it was worth it, and now that I'm older, I'm like, nah.
No.
But they're still cool.
I'd rather have a sody pop.
I would rather have a soda pop.
A big, huge fucking soda pop.
Favorite soda pop, go.
Diet Coke.
Okay.
Not even a question.
I didn't know that you were going to actually stick with Diet Coke as your favorite.
It's my go-to. I like others, don't get me wrong. I like others, but it's my favorite and the one that it's hey, do you have this? If I go to a restaurant and they're like, what would you like to drink? I'm like, if I'm going to get something other than water or an alcoholic beverage, it's Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Wow. I don't know.
And then
mine's Mountain Dew. There we go.
You like Mountain Dew?
I fucking love Mountain Dew.
They always do and then people will be like, oh, is Pepsi okay? And I'll be like, why? Have you checked on her? We haven't checked on Pepsi lately. We should really give her a call.
And we don't want to check on her because she's nasty.
I will drink Pepsi if it's what is available.
Wow. I won't. I'll change my option. I'll
go for free water. I like a Pepsi, especially if it's ice cold. An ice cold Pepsi is actually pretty good.
Any soda ice cold is ugh. You give me a Sierra Mist cold and I'll drink it.
When we get it out of the fridge in the winter time, before the pop was freezing, but like it would start to, and it had like just the little ice crystals in it.
Yeah.
That's when, and it kind of hurts your throat a little bit to drink it.
I want the pain.
Yeah, and I even drink pop mostly for the bubblies more than the flavor. I like the feeling as it goes down my throat.
I also do.
That doesn't sound great, but
yeah, we have really unhealthy consuming habits.
Oh yeah, it's either all or nothing for me.
Yeah, I don't love that, but it is kind of stuck within me. So that's good.
If I like something, I will ride it into the dirt. I don't even try anything else at like Applebee's. I'm just like, give me the quesadilla burger or the chicken fajita roll up. Don't ask me for anything else.
And if you don't have it, then I'm going to go.
The only other thing I will have when I go to Applebee's is if they have like the bottomless, boneless wings. And I can have, because then it's just a matter of like cost effectiveness. It's just more bang for your buck at that point.
I don't like bottomless things because I get embarrassed about asking for like more. So I don't live my life to its fullest.
Meanwhile, I'm like Thor slamming my plate on the ground.
Another! Like, more! I only do that with crab. If it's all you can eat crab, I'm like, just don't stop. Revolving door style. Get your ass out here.
So just elaborate for me. When is the last time you had all you can eat crab?
So, okay. You know Hy-Vee, the one in Lakeville?
Yeah.
That one, they used to have all you can eat crab. And when I say they used to, I mean like years ago. Because I went
they mean you cleaned them out.
I made them have to close that down. They actually, now it's a Wahlburgers or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The man that punched a dude and made him go blind. That guy.
Yeah. Also said some racially insensitive things. But we don't need to get into that.
But he sucks.
Because he sucks.
But anyway, we watched Talk to Me.
We watched Talk to Me.
And we liked it.
And I liked it. I did like it. Actor-wise, after reviewing, the only person I recognize is the actress who plays Eowyn.
Yes.
I didn't recognize anybody else, but that's because they're all Australian.
What is her name?
I don't know. I didn't look that hard.
Miranda Otto.
Yes. Her.
Yes, that feels right.
Yep.
The dog's name is Cookie, though, so that's fun.
Loved it. Oh, I was so worried. I saw the dog, and I just know I know dogs' relationships. I know dogs' relationships to horror movies, and I was like, "Nar!"
Spoiler alert: the dog's okay.
Yes, the dog lives.
Yay.
Little boys, not as much.
Well,
he lives. He's fine. He's just not well.
He's fine. Anyway, let's just start because we have been attempting to do this one for the last hour.
Yeah, should that be our siblings? Can we just really quick tell them the struggle that we've been going through as our sibling story before? We're going to do unprecedented. We're going to do the sibling story first.
The trials and tribulations.
And, I feel completely comfortable calling out this company because we were, for the last year or so, ever since I moved to another state, we have been using this application called Zencaster. And it has been pretty okay up until this point. I remember like when we first started out, our audio quality was pretty good. We were able to record over long distance. It was great. And we could record for as long as we wanted. Well, then little things started to happen. That on the free account, all of a sudden they slapped on like, you can only record for an hour a month. So we had to have a couple burners on rotate.
We had a couple accounts.
We had a couple accounts. Then they started being like, also audio quality, that's going to go downhill. I don't know if that actually is the case, but our microphones didn't change. And our computers, we've been using the same computers forever. So I don't know. The only thing that's changed is Zencaster as far as I'm aware. And then recently, like within the last week or so, I don't know if you eventually got the email. I got the email that was like, by the way, we're getting rid of the free accounts. And I'm like, okay, last fucking straw.
Well,
whatever. Fucking straw.
Well, yeah, I'm not paying for that.
So we've been going backwards. We've going back again to our good old friend Audacity.
Yes.
And we finally have figured out a system and we're really hoping that it'll work.
We are really
But
hoping it'll work.
Yeah, it was a struggle, but even to get that to work was a struggle. Because last week it wasn't working because I don't know, our Audacities just for whatever reason weren't working. And then we tried Zencaster again and it pooped out in the middle of us do it. We had gotten about 20 minutes into an episode and then all of a sudden it crapped out. That's the other thing. Zencaster all of a sudden stopped working. We just stopped working for us.
And your section was done and we were on to my section and then it stopped. And I was like, well, also this is during spooky season, our spookiest of seasons. So
and we're trying to get content out.
I'm very sorry that you didn't get to hear our melodious tones when the leaves changed, but
well, we'll try to get some out to make up for it. But my God,
it's so hard to be us. But let's talk about this movie.
Yes. So that was our sibling story. So we're getting that right out of the way. You're not getting anything else.
Don't ask.
Don't ask. Don't at me. All right. So do we want to kind of do the story and then kind of give our thoughts throughout?
Oh yeah, I'm giving all my thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
So you should go watch the movie.
Oh yeah, this is your spoiler alert. We are going to be going into the movie.
So go watch it and come back. Oh hi, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. To be fair, it is sorry that we made you spend $5.99 to rent it, or more if you bought it.
I definitely paid them my good money.
I did. I paid them my pink dollars, but it was worth it. So it starts out, and we're at this crazy party, and this brother Cole, I believe, was his name. Yes, was looking for his brother Duckett, which is quite a name. That must be an Australian.
It's got to be Australian.
I've never in my life ever, unless it's short. I feel like that's the long version of the name, though. I was gonna say unless it's short for something, but I think that's the long version.
I think Duckett, because wasn't he asking for duck? Because I remember a couple times I'd be like, I'm not hearing that right. His name must be Buck or something. I don't know.
Well, let's also get that out of the way. This movie's from Australia. Had to have subtitles on because that accent is wild.
Oh, you had to have subtitles? Real. Damn.
Yeah, I have to have subtitles for every movie, and it's not even it is a have to, but it's also a want to because I want to hear everything. I want to know what people are saying.
I want to make sure I don't miss it because sometimes when it's dramatic, they're they're just whispering, and I'm like, can we just? And then the background music's like, ga 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 ga, and you're like, can we balance this a little or?
And also, I know that and this is not a read, but I know that I have an easier time watching a movie and reading at the same time. So I can understand why subtitles might be distracting.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm one of those pussies and I can't watch subbed anime very well because I can't keep up. Whenever we're watching a movie, Brennan does that thing where words will come on screen and he'll just start reading it because he knows that I'm going to look over and say, what?
Dad does the same thing with Mom.
It's hard. I can't read.
The creepy ways that it's just I don't know if you ever you'll sit there with your partner and then something will happen and you'll just be like, that's
my
something
parents.
that Mom and Dad would do. My parents. Or I've also had this is McCall and Brendan's relationship.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got Cole looking for Duck. Duck ends up stabbing his brother after talking about hearing and seeing things, and he also specifically says you're not him.
He's having a crazy episode in this party. Everyone's filming too, which is I was very interested in that. Also, there was a mom there, right?
There
was a mom there, and I'm like, kids are drinking, right?
Yeah.
You must be a really cool
normal
mom
in Australia.
Actually, yeah, other places are way chiller about alcohol use with minors.
And at least in that case, there's an adult there who's monitoring,
who can watch the kid stab his brother.
Also, stabbing himself in the face. I'm sorry, you have
to
really. You'd really have to at least, especially to stab yourself. You'd really have to generate some force. Somebody coming at you and stabbing you in the face. I feel like they'd be able to generate the force. You coming from where you're at right here, I feel like you wouldn't be able to do what he did, which was one swift through the forehead.
It
the
was
forehead's the strongest part of your fucking head.
I know, but he had that crazy strength, you know? He was like a meth head.
Oh,
ghosts.
Speaking of which, you've already brought it up, so I may as well say it before we go any further. The metaphor for this movie. Because I don't know about you, but I was making ties to this movie to both It Follows and Smile. Where it's like all these movies have like a metaphor that goes along with their beastie. Where it's like the metaphor for It Follows was kind of like an STI kind of thing. For Smile, it was very obviously trauma. Like a little too in your face about it, I think. This movie, I feel like the metaphors were a little more varied and a little more subtle. But I think a metaphor for this movie is drug addiction and drugs.
Oh.
Because think about it. These all happen in places where it's a party atmosphere. Everyone does it. The person who it's happening with acts like a crazy fool and everyone is enjoying it. Everyone's like, oh my God. And like from the outside, it's terrifying. And people are like watching it and it's scary. And it, like, you're looking like this person's hurting, like is hurt. But to that person, it's euphoria. Like they're enjoying the experience and they want to do it again.
I love that. I'm sure that's probably what they were going for.
And the other one I thought, and I'll get a little bored. I also think it's also kind of a metaphor for not being able to accept grief and moving on from grief. Yeah. But I think drug addiction and drugs like is a big theme or a comparison to this thing. But like you just mentioned the meth head thing, and I wanted to get that is another thing. Like this, like first, because everyone when they first came in, they're like, "Your guy's tripping. Like he's on something. What's going on?" It.
Yeah,
he's twirling the pookie, and meanwhile, like, and really, it just turns out it's his hand, and we find out also that the people who get the hand got it from Duck at that party.
Yeah.
So they got the drugs at the party.
That's a good point. If you got a severed hand at a party where the guy that gave it to you at that party later stabbed himself in the face, would you use it? I feel like I'd be like,
doesn't stop people from doing meth after hearing about some guy getting murdered to death in a meth house.
I guess. I just don't want whatever was in that one. That's a tainted batch is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We got to get some fentanyl strips in here.
Yeah. So I did get a little ahead of myself, but I just wanted to bring that up because you had touched on it. And I'm like, this is a thought that I had about this whole movie. I was like watching it and I'm like, I'm getting this. I really hope that it's not just me spitballing.
No, I agree. I think that's correct.
So we jumped forward. We got our main character here, Mia, 17-year-old girl. And she is struggling with the second anniversary of her mother Rhea's death by overdose.
Yeah.
And she has a distant relationship with her father. She ends up going to pick up her best friend's little brother, Riley, I believe was his name. Yes, Riley. And when she picks him up, there's this whole thing with the kangaroo because we have to be reminded that we're in Australia.
I kind of forgot, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
I did too. I was like, what the shit? I thought this was about a hand, like not this beast.
This monster on the road.
And I was like, oh, it's a fucking kangaroo. And I was like, is this normal for them? Like, is this like us seeing a white-tailed deer on the road? Like, is this what it's like?
I bet it is.
Or would this be a little more rare, you know?
I don't.
Are there kangaroo hunting seasons like we have for deer seasons?
There can't be.
Maybe like the seasons where they have to go kill like the giant spiders that infest the bush.
I don't like that. I can't. I couldn't live there. I couldn't do it.
Oh. And the drop bears. Can't forget about the drop bears.
And the drop bears. They'll drop right on you.
Yeah, and maul your face. They always seem to go for the eyes. I think that there is also a metaphor with the kangaroo, and I kind of got it a little bit, but like it was like, okay. It was less of a maybe less of a metaphor, or maybe more of a recall to the beginning. I don't know. I
couldn't tell. It was definitely a recall. If it was a metaphor, I didn't get exactly. If I thought about it for like 2 more seconds, sure, I could figure something out. But this isn't a creative writing class, and I don't have to do that. So fuck you.
I don't know. Maybe it's like an Australian say, like, "Oh, you're like a kangaroo dying in the road, there, mate," or something like that. I don't know.
You gotta brain those things.
Yeah, they just say how it is in Australia. Apparently, from what I've heard of people, they just will be like, they just will be like, they'll be like nasty, but like they'll be doing it in a way that's kind of funny.
They'll be like,
"You're a fat motherfucker, aren't you? You want me to get you a beer?"
That would hurt my feelings. I couldn't live there.
Well, they wouldn't say it to you. They'd say it to me.
If I was even around, I'd be like, well, that was uncalled for. What's wrong with you? We live in Minnesota. Everything's passive-aggressive here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bitch.
so, like, they find this deer. No, they find this kangaroo on the side of the road, and it's dying. And
honestly, we don't need to spend... It's dying. She can't put it out of its
She
misery.
can't... Well, also, Riley's like, kill it. And she's like, I'm not gonna fucking kill... Like, what are you talking about? What, do you want me to get a big rock? Like... What's wrong with you?
I just figured out what the metaphor was.
What's the... Oh.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah. So they leave this deer... This kangaroo to just, like, die slowly on the road. And then they go to a party.
Yeah, they go to a party, and along with there's also Riley's sister, Jade. And we also get a little glimpse into Jade and Riley's home life, where their mom's a little controlling, a little. Like, I don't think she was like out of control. I couldn't decide whether or not they were trying to make this seem like she was out of control, crazy, or if she was just like a protective mom. I think it was a little more protective mom.
Yeah, I thought she was doing the best she could with
as a single mother.
Yeah, she's a single mom, and she has to go to work, and she knows. Like,
and clearly late. I don't know what job she works.
I don't know what her job is. Yeah, but she's like leaving to go do something, and you know that your kid is gonna go sneak out, and
she literally does.
She just like, and she can't. She has no power. The kids don't care. They're gonna do it, and she's just like trying the best she can to figure some way to make it be safe.
Meanwhile, you and I would be terrified to even attempt.
Never considered it once. I was never invited. But you know.
And I lived in the basement. I could have easily snuck out and nobody would have known.
No.
I also agree with your point. I was also never invited to anything like that. I think we've mentioned it a couple times now, but it's like, come to find out later in our year, like our friends were all out getting drunk or like doing drugs or whatever.
Cocaine.
Yeah, doing coke and shit. We were never invited.
Once, at least.
I would have tried it at least once.
If it was free.
Yeah, but like, I guess we just came across as party poopers. I don't
know. Well, yeah, we were riddled with anxiety.
Were we party poopers, or did people think that we were just like not cool?
I definitely wasn't cool, and I still am not.
I also wasn't that cool.
And Mia,
kind of a bitch.
Mia also seems not that cool. To bring it back to the movie.
No. People, like the main host of the party is not featuring her.
Yeah, she had to get her friend Jade to get her to the party. Like, she wasn't getting in on her own. And then,
literally Haley even says to Jade, like, why the fuck did you bring her?
Which it never really got explained. The girl that was having the party, Haley, I guess, I never got her name. Just
that's the other thing I was also questioning, because the actor who plays Haley is a transmask individual.
Thank you.
By the name of Sunny Johnson.
Yeah, I was confused because they referred to her as Haley and her pronouns. So I was like, oh,
They did, and I was confused too, because to me they were presenting very masculine, so I wasn't sure either.
I wasn't sure, but in the context,
but I did look up the actor, and they are a transmask individual.
Yes, in the context of the movie, Haley's like comes up to Jade and says, "Why'd you bring Mia? I don't like her," and doesn't really explain why. She just doesn't. She just gets a weird vibe from Mia, I guess. And Mia does kind of just like chill on the outskirts of the party for a while.
She seems a little awkward.
But Mia really wanted to go to this party because they have this creepy seance ritual thing that they keep posting on all of their social media sites, and Mia's very interested in it.
This movie was definitely phone heavy, but not in a distracting way. I felt.
No, I thought it was very accurate to kids nowadays.
Yeah, it was. And I really felt for Cole at the very beginning when he's trying to get his brother, who he believes is probably having like a bad drug trip.
Mm-hmm.
And he has all these people who are taking this video of his younger brother in this very vulnerable state. I'd be pissed off too if I was trying to get you out of a party. I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? I'm going to fucking break your phones and I'm going to break your faces too.
Yeah.
Like, I would be upset. So I was really feeling Cole at the beginning, and then he got stabbed. But
and then he gets
he got better.
So the party is fully commencing, and Haley brings out this hand, which it's like a plaster cast of a hand. There's a bunch of writing on it.
Ceramic.
It's ceramic. And
it's said to be either the hand of a Satanist or the hand of a medium who was like, I think, like killed, and then they chopped off the hand. I think they did like kind of put it in plastic and then put a ceramic over the top of it. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of writing on it. I wish I could have read the writing a little more.
I would love to read the writing. I did not. I just saw that it had writing on it and was like, all right.
I wish I could have seen what it actually said. I did see there, like towards like where the thumb is, there is like the talk to me up there. I did see that one. But I wish I could have read more about what was on it. Like, is it like the names of people who have been trapped that we'll get into in a little bit? Or is it like what is it?
And so they lay out the rules.
A guinea pig. What is it?
Yeah. And
anyway, I'm Dennis.
And they lay out the rules for this game, in quotes, where there's someone who's playing, they're sitting, and they're facing the hand, and you shake the hand, and you say, talk to me. And when you say, talk to me, basically a ghost is able to talk through you. What?
Also, going back to the drug thing, you have to be strapped down for it, and they strap you down with like a little belt. Much like a heroin user might strap down their arm before injecting heroin in.
Well, God damn it. Why didn't I see this the first time? Probably because I don't think about heroin a lot.
I don't either.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't. I have no interest. I have no interest in that.
No, that one seems like it wouldn't be as fun. Cocaine, though.
Anyway.
No. Really? No? All right, fine.
Cocaine was boring.
Well, someone's cooler than me. Anyway.
Only done it once, and it was to get me to not be drunk anymore. And then I was like, wait, what?
Wait! Adding things made it worse? So, basically, you are able to be in this possessed state for 90 seconds. And if you go over 90 seconds, it's bad, but they don't really explain why it's bad. They just say, don't do it.
They do. They do. They say that if you stay longer over 90 minutes, they will linger. And then if you die while they're in kind of possession of you, you get taken.
So there's that. And then everyone's like, gosh,
which,
I can't
going
wait
back
to
to
play.
the metaphor of drugs, it's like people being like, okay, you can only do so much because if you can only rub it on your gums because if you smoke it, you get addicted.
Then you get addicted. You're so smart. Yeah. So then they're like, who wants to play? And Mia raises her hand saying, I definitely want to play. This sounds up my alley. And she gets possessed.
She gets possessed by a spirit who seems to really want to split open Riley, the 14-year-old brother's cheeks.
She gets possessed basically by, I assume, some kind of pedophile.
Yeah, it's very that.
And it's very scary. And everyone's watching her and they're all filming. And then she's finished with her thing once it's almost 90 seconds. Wait, no. This isn't
they do go over.
They go over.
She goes over by a couple seconds because they can't get her to let go of the thing. Because they can't let her. She won't let go of the crack pipe. She won't let go. And she's like Gollum, and she's holding on to the fucking ring.
And so they finally get her off. She was over 90 seconds, but nothing seems outwardly wrong. So they continue playing.
And she acts like, oh, that was so wild. Oh my God, it felt amazing. Drugs.
Drugs. It's drugs.
Drugs. No, thank you. Drugs.
Drugs.
No, who invited him? Drugs.
So then everyone else starts playing and they have a really fun time. I don't remember anything else happening at the party. Am I wrong?
No, the first party, nothing really happens. She exceeds the time a little bit, and that's about the most that happens.
And Riley is exposed to it and is afraid of it. He has a nightmare and tries to get comforted by his sister, who's a bitch.
Who's an absolute bitch. But then Mia is nice to him. But then, like, there's a creepy hand at one point, and it's like, don't like it.
Also, okay, so he goes to his sister in the middle of the night, and she's like, get the fuck out of my room. Fuck you. And he goes into the main living room where Mia is, because she's sleeping over. Have you ever had a sleepover where you aren't sleeping in the same room?
No.
Like, that was
but at the same
weird
time,
to me.
At the same time, we're also very aware that Mia spends a lot of time there. That
She
they're like,
does.
that they don't see Mia as like a best friend. It's more of like Mia's like another
Family.
extension of their family.
Okay, then that makes sense. Because I just was like, wait, are they sleeping over or is she just
I almost
hanging
got
out?
I almost got like that was more like her spot. Like this is where when Mia stays over, this is where Mia stays. She stays on this luxurious
Pull-out couch?
pull-out bed.
Yeah.
That is bigger than any pull-out bed I've ever fucking seen in my life.
It was pretty big. They were also very thin. Everyone was so thin in this movie.
Everyone was so thin.
They got that
Fuck.
gosh, what's the newest generation? The really
And Max, the dad was hot. He was hot.
Oh, I didn't really even think about it. I just remember
hot.
thinking
He wasn't on the
everyone's
screen
so
very
thin,
long.
and they're all in baggy clothes.
And they're all, it's the 90s. The 90s and early 2000s are coming back, and I hate it because I lived through that, and I don't want to be reminded.
You don't want those chunky highlights back?
I'm sorry. The 60s, 70s, 80s, those were all, actually even the 90s was cool. The 90s was cool. 2000s, garbage. Trash, garbage, fashion, disgusting, hateful. Why are we bringing it back? Why are baggy pants back? Why am I being made fun of for wearing skinny jeans? Get out of my fucking face. Also, their
Skinny
athletic
jeans
fit.
were the only thing that worked for me. Also, when we got high-waisted stuff, thank you. Thank you to whoever wanted to stop seeing ass cracks in their face, because I'm not going back to low-rise. I won't do it.
Speak for yourself, bitch. I put on high-waisted pants. I look like a muffin. I look like one of those Pillsbury dough things, except it's cracked open a little bit. It's got some of the dough seeping out.
That's a good visual. That's
exactly what it was. Because it's like, here's the top of the pant, here's my love handles, and then my waist. And I'm just like, wow, this is a good look.
See, I put on low-rise jeans, and I'm like, so everything is trying to escape the back. It is all coming out.
There was a comedian who was like, I saw the other day that low-rise jeans are coming back, and I just need to spit in the faces of all the Gen Zs who are bringing it back. She's like, we fought for you. We fought for you to never have to like worry about shaving your pussy again. And now you have to do it. You didn't have to worry about doing so many crunches that you felt pain. Like,
it's horrible. It's like you'd sit down and you'd be like, I just feel the breeze on my upper ass cheeks. Like, I can't go through it again. I won't.
I had a nice experience though. Like I put on some pants from last year and they were like crazy baggy.
I love that feeling. Oh.
I was like, oh. And then I was thinking like, but what changed? I don't know. Let's not think about it. Anyway.
Let's just enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we're back at the party. No, we're not. We're at a different party because Mia is like, we got to twirl the pookie again. And so Jade manages to convince Haley to come over to her place so that they can play this game again. And Jade comes over. It is funny though, because like Mia's over, and then all of a sudden the boyfriend comes over and the mom answers the door, and he's like, "Hi," and she shuts the door in his face. And she comes over and
the boyfriend, she's talking about Jade's boyfriend, Joss, who actually Daniel? Shit. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Daniel, who used to date Mia, but then stopped for some reason and now dating Jade.
Breakup. And Mia and them had a weird exchange where she was like, "Jade, can I please like have my hair very more, finger my pussy?" And it was like, what the fuck, girl? Like,
it's that weird.
That's your girl's man. Like,
it's that high school thing where you just want attention and you shouldn't be trying to get the attention from your best friend's boyfriend, but you are, so you do it anyway. It's not great.
Yeah.
So Daniel.
Now, Joss is Riley's friend, who's a queef.
Yeah, no, he sucks. I'm sorry. I'm not like, I'm just going off of vibes. I'm not like reading the words on the page in front of me.
Well, I also remember the movie probably a little better because I think you watched it like a week ago, and I just watched it on Sunday.
Yeah, I watched it 2 weeks ago.
So it might be a little much.
But they convince Daniel to play. And I'm going to let you take it.
Oh, and Daniel starts to do it and clearly makes it known that he does not want Jade and that Jade makes him soft and that he does want Mia sexually. And then he proceeds to make out with the family dog.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fierce.
He got
a
really raw deal possession wise.
Yep.
Because everybody's filming you, which I'm surprised anybody would want to play. Because you
right?
can
this doesn't
say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is not a game I would think I'd want to play.
No, I'd be like, what if some creepy pedophile controls me and tells a little boy named Riley that, I don't think that would be
Which, going back to drugs, sometimes a sober man's thoughts become an intoxicated man's words.
It's not good. So, yeah. Also, Daniel's ghost outed him super hard. And then Jade deals with a dog.
Like a trooper.
Yeah. And Jade's just like, okay, this party's the worst. But everybody else plays like a lot, like over and over and over again.
They are twirling the pookie.
They are just taking hits after hits. And Riley is watching all these people do heroin. And he's like, I want to do some heroin now. And everybody says no. And I would want to do some heroin. Literally everyone says no. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's only 14.
If I was 14-year-old and I watched everybody else do it, I'd want to do it too. And
I also big respect to, like, even though Haley's a douche, and throughout the movie, big respect to Haley to respecting Jade's decision to be like, no, he's not doing it. And she's like, yeah, all right, sister said no.
Jade says no. And then kind of like storms out of the room. And Mia's like,
well, she's probably a little angry because she just found out her boyfriend doesn't want to diddle her pussy.
She's having a bad night.
Yeah.
So she leaves, and Mia, honorary sister, is like, well, if he really wants to.
I was like, this is the equivalent of us taking Maya to an adult party and saying, yeah, here, snort some fucking
let's go, white lightning.
Black tar heroin. Like, white lightning. Like,
let's have fun.
I was like, ooh, Mia, you did a naughty thing.
I didn't think that was her place, especially after someone else said no.
Absolutely, it was not her place at all. And then she stops them from ending the possession.
Yeah.
Because it happens to be her mom who's talking, even though
her mom
in quotes.
So
she makes him stay for like 2 minutes. Way over.
Yeah. So Riley's like, oh, Mia, I miss you. And Mia's like, oh, shit. And stops everybody, which again, if I was Haley, I'd be like, no. We're done now. Sorry, them's the breaks, kid.
Well, and like we were saying, like at the beginning, they were like, we can't go over 90 seconds because otherwise they will attach themselves to you and they'll try to take you. And they like, but what they do say is what they kind of like hint at is that like, oh, if you die while you're possessed, they take you. What they also don't say is while you're possessed in this extended period of time, they will try to make you kill yourself. So Riley, after being under this possession for like 2 minutes, starts to go batshit, starts slamming I was sitting in my chair. I was like, like he's like slamming his head into the side of the table, corners of tables. At one point, he tries to pluck his own eye out. I'm still unclear whether or not he actually succeeded because his eye was like swollen shut the rest of the movie.
I was screaming. Brendan was like, you need to stop doing that. And I was like, do you not see the boy trying to explode his head with a desk? Because I can't do it.
And then, of course, it becomes like a terrible thing. Like the police are called. The boy's taken away in an ambulance. The mom is so mad at Mia. Everyone's mad at Mia. And everyone should be mad at Mia because she let Riley twirl the pookie for too long.
Yes.
And
the mom doesn't know that they are playing ghost handshake. So she thinks that Mia gave him drugs. Hence the connection to doing drugs. And so that's why she's mad at Mia.
Well, then we kind of hop back and Mia goes back to her house. She doesn't want to talk to her dad. She goes to her room and now she has the hand because in the ensuing chaos, she stole the hand. And so now she's injecting alone. She's doing what they say not to do and she's drinking alone.
They never show her do it.
They did.
They did?
Yes, she did. But the way that it's interesting because the way that she does it is she says, talk to me. But instead of saying, I let you in, she just speaks with the spirit.
Okay.
She doesn't let them in. Like, so she tries to call her mother, quotation marks. And we'll get into why we're saying quotation marks in a little bit because we do find out some kind of info there. But she's also, because she's been doing this by herself now and she's doing it more frequently. And also it's unclear whether or not she's doing like the full ceremony of like, because you're supposed to light a candle, hold the hand, say, talk to me. And then when you're done, blow out the candle, shut the door. What I can't remember is whether or not she's doing like the full ritual, which could lead to the movie's later things here. Literally every time Riley comes to consciousness, he tries to commit suicide. There's a horrible scene where he wakes up and he starts slamming his head into like a solid, like a tile wall. And then he like starts licking up his blood. And I was like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. And I mean, Mia's freaking out. She is feeling terrible that she's being blamed for it, which is her fault. And then Daniel says she wants him to come over and spend the night with her because she's flipping her lid. And he's like, okay, even though that's not okay because I'm dating Jade and we've already had a weird thing tonight, but whatever.
Yeah.
So he sleeps in the same bed as her, and I was like, that's not okay. But Mia wakes up and sees something in the corner of the room, which I sometimes see when I wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh, I told you my sleep paralysis. That was the thing I saw.
Yeah. So she sees
when it came out of the corner. I was like, oh, nope. I've seen that before. Don't like it.
Saw that shit and I did not like it. But she sees this icky old lady who like grabs Daniel's foot and starts like sucking on it hardcore. And Daniel wakes up
sucking on those toys.
And Mia is sucking on his foot hardcore. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was a ghost. And he's like,
deuces.
Yeah, he leaves. It's inappropriate. It's not good. So she's not doing great.
After a series of kind of experiences, they do eventually, they're like, we got to save Riley. We got to figure out what happened. They do manage to track down the Cole, the brother from earlier, he did survive the stabbing. And Cole kind of explains that what had happened was like the possession happens, and eventually the living body will expel the invading spirits, much like a human body will expel drugs if given enough time. It's like I kept being like, girl. Anyway, so Mia fears that Riley doesn't have that time. They go to the hospital with the hand and try to like get Riley, because what they think is that they didn't end the session. So what they do is they keep trying to like have Riley do it by like being like, talk to him and like giving Riley the hand and then blowing out the candle. Well, then Mia's like, here, let me try, which was funny to me because I'm like, here, let me try. And she starts like snorting cocaine in the hospital.
No, this cocaine's really good. I don't know why he's not reacting.
Well, because then she tries talking and she talks to a spirit who's actually nice of the spirits that we've talked to. And the spirit does something odd because this whole time we've been like, talk to me. And then they say, I let you in. And the spirit goes into the body. This time the spirit's talking. It's a little girl. The spirit's talking to Mia. And she's like, I can show you where he is. I let you in. And the spirit brings her in. And we see Riley being tortured in this limbo kind of world by these spirits. And Mia can't really handle it.
She flips.
And she ends up leaving.
Yeah.
She flips and she ends up leaving. She goes back home, and Max, her father, eventually is like, yo, I've not been truthful with you. I need to be honest with you. And he reads Rhea's suicide note.
Which is
basically
her mother.
Which is her mother. And the spirit this whole time that she's been seeing of her mother has been telling her, no, like, I would never leave you. I didn't. He's lying.
I would never commit suicide.
Yep.
And
what we're finding from Cole is that the spirits will pretend. They will pretend to be. They will try to fool you. Because what we also find out is that Duckett, or whatever his name was seeing and hearing his dead father. Very similar situation. It's like, no, he's dead.
No, you're not. Sorry. So she now thinks that her dad is lying to her. And the ghost is now like, he did it. He's the problem. And she's flipping her lid again.
It's going shining, full shining.
She's going full shining. And she runs into her room and basically has an episode where she thinks she's getting choked and she needs someone to help her. She's thinking that her dad's killing her, when really her dad is trying to get in the room to help her. And when he finally gets into the room to help her, it looks like she's having a seizure on the ground. And when he goes to help her, she is grappling with this spirit version of her dad, and she stabs him in the neck and is like, wakes up and realizes she's just stabbed her father with a pair of scissors.
Well, then Rhea's like, hey, awesome. Now
good.
You need to kill Riley because the only way that you can save him is to kill him. Forgetting everything that she's been told earlier, that if someone's possessed and they die, that they will be taken. Like, she's like, all right, sounds great. Gotta do it.
Love it.
And that's where I wrote down, I realized what the fucking metaphor was. Riley's the kangaroo. She has to put down the kangaroo.
You didn't get that? Oh, okay.
No. Riley's the kangaroo. That's what I was saying. I was like, I didn't get what and then I was like, Riley's the kangaroo.
Yeah.
And so anyway, she does, which I was like, okay, so she goes to the hospital. She manages, so Jade's mom and her do have a moment where Jade's mom was like, I'm really sorry. There was no drugs. Like, so what I'm guessing that means is they ran a drug test and there weren't any drugs in his system.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to accuse you. And they have a nice little moment. And then
and Mia's like holding these scissors like, yeah, no, totally.
Oh, yeah. With her father's blood still caked on them. And she's like, can I have a moment alone with him, please? And then we have a lovely little moment where like Mia looks down at Riley's body and sees this horrid old man who's like, why don't you touch me?
Do it.
And I was like, God. I was like, who'd they get to do this?
When did the Emperor get here?
Yeah, when did Palpatine embody this child? Also, what security they have going down in Australia.
What is
because
going
she
on?
manages to wheel Riley out. She manages to unhook him from everything, wheel his ass down to a highway where she's going to push him into oncoming traffic. And she's being told at like her mother's behind her, and her mother's like, yeah, you're doing it. And then she's like, she said it was interesting because she's like, I'll take good care of him. And then she goes, we'll have him forever. In that moment, Mia realizes, oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no. And she realizes that the malevolent spirit that had her, that wanted Riley the whole time, was trying to get her to do this. And she instead throws herself into traffic. But Riley is saved. Then we have a kind of a cut. Mia kind of wakes up on the road and she's got look at his gash.
It doesn't hurt though.
It doesn't hurt though. And then it's like a weird cut to like in the hospital. She sees a fully recovered Riley waking up with his family. Her father also is there and appears to have, because we forgot to mention it. She does send Jade on a wild goose hunt, which sends her to her house, where she does find Max, and he is still alive. He's like staunched the wound a little bit.
Yeah, she fucking left her dad overnight with a neck wound.
Yeah. And then she, like, no one's responding to her calls. She kind of looks at her hands and realizes they're all mushed up. And then eventually she becomes engulfed in darkness. And she, as the darkness kind of sets in, a candle gets lit and she goes towards the candle. And she reaches out towards this hand that she sees, and she gets sucked into a party. And one of the party goers, who's like speaking Greek, says, I let you in. And we realize that Mia has become one of the spirits trapped within the hand.
I loved it. I thought it was super good.
I thought it was good. And I think that, like, I was like, oh, did Riley actually live? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, eventually, especially when Mia's spirit, who really wanted Riley, was no longer there, I'm sure eventually his body pushed out the spirit.
Yeah.
Flushed it out. And he was able to heal. Her father clearly lived, and I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't have any casualties except for Mia, which I thought was nice for a horror movie.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those ones where it's like, I'm always like, oh, but I like it when.
But
I like having a glimmer of hope,
yeah.
But she's kind of. I was hoping that she'd be able to overcome it, just like I was kind of hoping with Smile. I was hoping that she'd overcome it.
That one, Smile, I hoped that she overcame it way more. This one, she stole a child from the hospital and was caught with him near traffic.
Well, also she's the one.
And
she also was the one who got him into the situation in the first place.
And she stabbed her dad with scissors, and I'm like, there's no coming back from this, so she has to die.
Yeah, when she stabbed her dad, I was like, oh no. I was literally like, there's no coming back from this one, is there?
This is
like,
rock
I was like,
bottom.
Because up until she did that, I was like, maybe she can still pull this out. Maybe she can still figure out a way to. But then when she did that, I was like, oh, the writing's on the wall.
Can't do that. You can't kill a person in a horror movie because that means you're gonzo.
Carl.
That kills people.
That kills people. Thankfully he lived though. Smile, I agree. I was really hoping that she'd make it out because she was trying to overcome her grief and her trauma.
Yeah, that one I had way more hope for.
And I feel like in that particular instance, as opposed to this one, her not making out of her trauma kind of, it reinforces that you can't ever get out of your trauma, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, I felt like that was a bad message, but that's okay.
But I also feel like, going back to our drug kind of thing, I think that Mia constantly abusing the drugs to the point where she's attacking people in her life, like, that was another thing. There wasn't a, like, if indeed she's watching like these people healed and leaving, not a single person was mourning her death.
That is true.
That we saw.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't get too much in here, so I don't know what actually would be happening. I don't know.
We didn't see him for that long.
I feel like it was kind of and then she died because of this thing. And I don't know. I feel like there is a lot to say about how society treats people who are addicted to drugs and the lack of empathy there. And I feel like this is kind of a metaphor. Like, I think that kind of continues this metaphor a little bit.
I agree.
But, yeah.
I think you should watch it.
I really liked it.
It was a good movie.
Yep. And guess what? Sequel's already been greenlit.
I don't need that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I was literally saying this to Charlie. I was just saying this to Charlie. I'm like, not everything needs to be a franchise.
No.
Can you just take the what is it the kids are saying? Take the W. Take the win. Take the W. Say like, oh, it was a great movie, and move on and create something else new. We don't need Jaws: The Revenge. Like, I was literally going through it with Charlie. I'm like, how many fucking successful horror movie franchises have there been? And when I say successful, I mean, like, how many of them have been good?
Yeah.
Because, Saw has like 10 movies. How many of those Saws are actually good, though?
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, only 1 and 2 are good. Scream, 1 and 2 are good. The other ones are okay. I like Scream, I actually am like, because Scream is like a parody of itself and of the genre. It has a different kind of thing.
I actually liked all the Screams. I'm gonna be that guy. I watched all of them.
I don't mind all the Screams. Scream 1, of course, is my favorite, and Scream 2 actually I think is really good too. And then the rest of them are good. Nightmare on Elm Street. How many of those? Those got way out of control real fast. Halloween. Pretty much everyone other than the first one kind of sucks in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, not every movie needs to be a fucking franchise. Like, I was like, why couldn't this have been Midsommar?
Yeah.
And just been like, hey, I did a good movie and now we're going to do something else.
Now I'll do whatever I want. I don't need, because now they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to have a new group of kids and they have to deal with the hand. And the same thing happens, but then they get a little bit of backstory on where the hand came from.
On the hand.
And now then after that one, then we're going to get a prequel on what happened to make the hand. And I'm just going to want to die. So, yeah.
Oh my God. I don't need all that. I don't. Exactly. I agree with you. I don't need all that. Like,
please stop.
I liked that there was the ambiguity.
Yes.
That's actually one of the things I did not like about Smile was that the monster was so like, it's about trauma.
Don't you get it?
And if you have to do these very specific things and then trauma and then this creature will eat you. It's like, okay. You had me up until the ending a little bit.
They did. They had me pretty good till the ending. And I was like, oh.
Until all of a sudden we got like this lore dump. Yeah, she's ugly. It was the equivalent of like having your dungeon master lore dump all about their world onto you. Don't say anything about how I've done that in the past.
But yeah.
But like it was so, but this one, and that's what I liked about it, is there was some ambiguity to it. And all we really needed to know was you light a candle, you say, talk to me, I let you in, blow out the candle. That's all we need to know about the hand. And then the fact that if you do these things wrong, you get haunted.
Consequences.
Like, that's all. You get consequences. And that's all we needed. And we don't need, because I actually, once you said it, I was like, I can literally see.
I can see the prequel, and I will die before I watch that. I don't need that in my life. But yeah, they're going to do that, so.
Like, the first one was fine. Just leave it be.
Yeah, just let me have this, please.
Because I don't know, there's part of me that's like, oh, the sequel's going to be like, yeah, you say a new group of kids, and Mia's going to be there, and she's going to try to help them, and there's going to be other spirits that are going to be not nice. And I don't know.
I don't need it. But I like this one. So support it, because
also the fact that there was a little girl spirit in that thing. I'm like, oh, girl, a little girl shooting up heroin. Oh no.
And I didn't make a connection to the drug thing at all. So I'm just like, I like ghosts. But yeah, that is Talk to Me. That's the movie.
I really liked it.
I agree.
Out of 5 stars, how many would you give it?
I'd give it all 5 fingers. Because it's a hand. Sorry.
What would you give it 5 stars?
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make the joke.
Oh, you want to make the joke?
I'm going to say 4. I'm going to go 4.
I actually also would give it about 4.
I loved it.
I give it, it would be like a high 3.5 or a 4.
I like grading wise on a scale, I give it an A-.
Oh, yeah. I give it definitely an A-.
I had an awesome time, and it actually got me to like yell out loud, and that's a good horror movie.
Yeah. It had me be like, I don't like it. And it was only an hour and a half.
Beautiful.
Love that.
Perfect.
Love that. I don't count it was probably like it was like an hour and 37 minutes, I think. But like I think like 10 of those minutes at least are like beginning credits and end credits. So, but I enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you have the $6 to spare. Go rent it on Amazon or your favorite streaming platform that has it.
Yeah, or wait a month and it might go on something. I don't know.
I think it's already on DVD.
Oh, done. Go buy it.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a good addition to your horror collection.
I have to pee.
All right. Yeah, I think we're good. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. If you have your horror movie recommendations, your true crimes that you would like us to review and talk about, you want us to review
I'll
these
review
actual
this
true
one. This murder.
Yeah. This is a murder.
I give it a 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. If you would like to have your sibling story recounted on our podcast, read in our dulcet tones, you can email us at livingscarypodcast@gmail.com or livingvicariously@gmail.com.
What are our names?
Also, yeah, what are our names? Also, we do have a Twitter and a Tumblr. If you would like to follow us on there. Let me see here. Other than that, anything else to add, McCall?
I think we fucking did it.
I think we finally fucking did it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hopefully everything works out.
Jesus Christ.
And until next time, talk to me.
I didn't hear that. I assume you said talk to me.
I said talk to me. I said talk to me. Shit. I have to stop my own one. God damn it.
Oh, shit.